Hi, this is Steve from Conductive Labs, and in this video we are going to talk about the rotation algorithm that we added as a new feature to the Noodler. The rotation algorithm was written by Robbie Kilgore, who is a jazz musician, a jazz pianist, and Robbie gave us permission to add this feature, and Robbie has some great videos using this algorithm on his website. We'll put the link down in the description. But let's, what is a rotator algorithm? Well, let me just play it for you for a second. So if I hit the note, one note going into the Noodler will turn into 3 notes coming out. So how does that all work? Well, let's take it apart. The controller is plugged into the Noodler, and you can see that we are on MIDI channel 1. And if we go over to the Noodler and look at the keyboard transpose, it's set for channel 1. So anything coming in on channel 1 with the algorithm turned off would just be transposed. But the way we snuck this in is if you turn the algorithm on and go into the transpose channel, then in addition to transposing it, it will also add the extra 2 notes. Okay, so how do you get to the turning this thing on and off? You hit Shift Menu, and you click on encoder number 2, and across the top it says encoder 2 beta rotation algorithm. It tells you how to use it. If you hit the shift button, hold the shift button and press the encoder, it turns it off. It says off up there, and click it again, it's back on. It also describes a little bit about the parallel note and 4 rotator notes, and gives you some examples here. And then across the bottom is your current settings. So where do you edit those settings? Well, you can edit the settings in the pattern editor. So go to the pattern editor by clicking the pattern editor button, and make sure you load patch number 40, because the values of patch 40 is what dictates all the parameters for the rotator. So I'm going to switch to a graphic here, and this is showing us how the rotator is done. So there's the note that you hit, and then there is a parallel note. And so in the screen here, the first line is what interval the parallel note is. The parallel note that Robbie has and that we're showing in this diagram here, and you can set these, but we'll just use Robbie's for now. The parallel note is +7 semitones, which is a fifth above the note that you play. Now the third note that gets played will change every time you play. You strike the same key or a different key. In this case, if I hit C every time, you'll have the fifth every time as well, but you'll also have a minus 8 semitones, -5, -7, and -1, which is the notes E3, G3, F3, and B3. So let's listen to that really quick. So that, I think that's the B3. Yeah, you can hear that second. Yeah, so that's what it sounds like. And if you play different notes, let's go back to the original thing so you can see me playing stuff. So I was going like this. But if I hit different notes like or and notice if I hit it soft, the velocity is maintained, so you could play it. Yeah, let's go ahead and change some of these things up and show you how this works. So right now, because the pattern editor goes from 0 to 40 and it's not bipolar, meaning it doesn't go plus and minus, we just start at 20 as the baseline. So if I wanted to play the +7 semitones, which is 7 up, I would go 20 would be my bass, and then I got to add 7 semitones, so it'll be a value of 27. You could see that down here at the bottom. If I wanted to change that, I could just reduce it. Oops, jumped. There we go. Or I can even make it the same note. And then just so you can make the parallel note any interval you want. So let's put it back to 27 to make it the fifth. And then if I want to edit the other notes intervals, I would just move across this thing. So you notice it says 12, because 20 minus 8 is 12. 20 minus 5 is 15. And I'm looking in that orange bar. Here we go. I'll show you that graphic again. So there's the orange bar. 20 minus 7 is 13. And then 20 minus 1 is 19. And so that's how these values are derived, by the number of semitones relative to the number 20. Okay, what are the other bars? Well, these bars over here are actually the velocities. So I could turn the rotator velocities down really low, and what we'll just hear is the parallel note. And that's actually really hot. It's even louder than the root. So if we put it at 20, it should be the same, the same volume. If I make it hotter. And you can hear the other notes sneaking in there because they're not zeros. But what's cool is if you put that like that, so you can hear the fifth a little bit. And then we go and just turn one of these up like that. And I'm hitting the notes about the same. Let's go back to the screen. About the same velocity. So you can have basically accents, which is cool by using these different velocities. Now, if I had it all the same, I could actually play that by hitting the key harder or softer, but it's kind of fun. And here's why. Because I like to mess around with this thing using the arpeggiator. So if I turn the arpeggiator on, I'll turn the tempo down a little bit. Just set it for 1. It's got a little bit, it feels like a little bit of swing. That's because not all of them are equal. There we go. Okay, so now I can play more than one note. So I can hold this down and I can add a... Again, how hard I hit it is... Now the pattern's repeating. I think it's because I hit 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the reason why it's repeating is because, remember, there's 4 rotating notes. If I hit any number of 4 intervals, like 4 or 8 or 12, it'll repeat. If I only do 3 or any other number that's not divisible by 4, it'll sort of do a weird wrapping thing. So let's try that. Let's go. Whoops. There we go. That's 3 notes. Now if I hit a 4th one, it'll repeat. See how it's starting to sound the same? But if we hit a 5th one, then all hell breaks loose. Well, not all hell breaks loose, but you know what I'm saying. Yep. And I think, I don't know, you do the math, maybe it's every 12 times or whatever, it'll repeat. But I just enjoy I also use the order that I play the notes, which makes it slightly more interesting in terms of the arpeggio. And then we can go back over here and actually turn up. Yeah, so you can do all kinds of fun things. Reintroduce the 5th. Yeah. So that's, let's go and turn that off. Thanks. So that's the rotator algorithm on the noodler. I hope you really enjoy it. And give a listen to Robbie's stuff at his webpage. Again, links in the description. Thanks so much.